Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Blacklights, we take a look at this. And what this is the Scarlet Fire Hot Sauce. And we've got a perfect blend of heat and flavor. Vinegar-based hot sauce with a unique blend of chilies and aromatics, eggs, soups, sauces. I thought that said shakes for a second. Marinades, pastas, and so much more. We'll get to that. We will get to that. So what do we have? We have filtered water, vinegar, Fresno peppers, carrots, habanero mash, fresh garlic, sea salt, Thai chili peppers, and xanthan gum. Quite a delectable array. We all know that habanero and carrot go together extremely well. And we know that Fresno chilies are one of the best tasting chilies to exist. So we have I feel like this sauce, just on those ingredient selections alone, has a significant leg up. I like the idea of Thai chili peppers. Fresh garlic, I think I prefer that in sauces more than when it's not. And this is a delight. This sauce is an absolute delight. And like I said in the written review, available in the description down below, I am always thrilled. When I can have a sauce of the year. Any year I get a sauce of the year candidate out of the gate, I am always pleased. And that is the case here. Because every year, you never know. Like 2025 had 5 of them, which is the most I've ever had. The most the blog has ever had in a single year. But as soon as the year rolls over, you're starting from 0 again. If you do it the way that I do it. So it's like, well, in some years I've gotten pretty deep into the year before I've had candidates, which is, I know it's just, somebody typing words on the internet on a blog, but there's no real prestige attached to it or anything. But I like I'm fond of the idea that it's an award that I think at least is meaningful as far as I'm concerned. And I like to, it is the creme de la creme. Like, I stand behind every single one of those sauces. If somebody says to me, actually I shouldn't say that, there is one sauce that they reformulated, but for that, it applies to the original version. But, when people say to me, well, what's the best hot sauce? I'm like, go look, here it is. Here's the blog, go look at the sauce of the years. You can pick any of those. You can make a case for any of them. So we can see there are little chunks in here. We got this very nice red-orange coloration. I think the sauce looks really good. If I do have a slight complaint about this, it is, as you might have seen when I poured into the spoon, it does like to run down the threads of the bottle a little bit. I don't love that. And I think this one could actually do with maybe a larger restrictor cap. But certainly that is not, it doesn't take anything away from the actual majesty of this sauce. So let's get into it. This combines so many wonderful things all at once. The heat is a tad moderate. It is, it's kind of like sort of like a Cajun sauce, but that carrot in there really brings a depth to it. And this has, in some ways, some of the attributes of some of my very, very, very favorite sauce of the year sauces. And this one shares a lot in common with those things. Like Fresno's, those are the ticket. I mean, if you start with those, I think the odds are pretty good that you're going to have a banger of a sauce. Fresno's are just fantastic. And I do like carrot and habanero in conjunction. I think that always works well. The Thai peppers, there is a little bit of a bitter note in there, and it could be from the habanero, but it also could be from the Thai chilies as well. But this is a really just super lovely sauce. And even though there is xanthan gum in here, this definitely benefits from fairly steady agitation. Okay, so what have I got here? Well, it's a pizza, obviously, but what kind of pizza? Well, it is this. A Tombstone French fry loaded bacon cheddar pizza. I've said before that if somebody comes up with a stupid food thing, the odds are pretty good that I am going to be inclined to try it out. And what's interesting too is that a lot of the higher priced pizzas, look at this. You see how much room is left over on this? This is basically just a pizza tray to pull it off the pizza stone. But when I first got this, a lot of the pizzas anyway would run right to the edge. And in fact, there's videos where you can see that. Now, thanks to good old shrinkflation, I have lots of room to cut the pizza because they pulled it in, probably an inch or two at least. But, there might be less here, but at least they kept the price the same, if not more. All right, so the idea with this, here's a cross section. It does kind of look fryish. It also looks kind of greasy. I don't know how this is going to go. But let's start with 3 pieces. I'm going to get a little baseline here. Oh my God. Oh. This is not worth getting. It is arguably not worth eating. This is not worthy of this sauce. But I'm going to put it on there because one of my favorite things to have with a good Louisiana style or Cajun sauce is those, those loaded baked potatoes. I've had them in some of the other videos as well. It's such a perfect combination. Because I'm not a big potato lover, but I do like, look, you throw some cheese on it, you throw some bacon on it, probably it's going to be pretty good. As a food item, probably it's going to be pretty solid, but it's going to be also probably rich and heavy. That's where something like this comes in. A nice vinegar forward sauce. And you can see if you agitate it well enough, it's not super runny. If you don't, this will separate on you. That's just a spectacular sauce. It's so good. I mean, flavor-wise, this is one of the better tasting sauces I've had. And sometimes, you know, when people discover that I've got a blog with some there's over 600, way over 600 sauces on it as I film this. And there's, I think, videos for right around 500 of them, something like that. I think every chili head probably gets encountered just at one point or another. You know, the question will come up, how long are you going to do it? When is it enough? And my answer has always been, I'm trying to make a library. So you can go to the library and ask them that. And with libraries, they have physical space limitations, like brick and mortar libraries. Digitally, I don't have that. So I guess as long as Google wants to keep the blogger active, I guess. That's not really what they're asking. You know, they are asking, when is it ever going to be enough? And it's a question I ponder from time to time. When I looked at the ingredient list for this, I got excited. I got the same little thrill, the same little shivers up my spine is when I find something really interesting and unexpected, like in a grocery store. Or when I'm haunting the shelves of BYT and I find something exciting there that I didn't know about. And it may be the same thrill, but it's a good one. I'm not sure who's actually producing this. This is another one that is made for Scarlet Fire, who's apparently out of San Francisco. This pizza is dreadful. We're not really... Yeah, I think heat-wise, this is very accessible. Which isn't always the case with some of the other years. I don't like the flavor of this pizza. I don't like the texture of this. Honestly, I don't think it works. I've tried different food types and different formats before. And I appreciate them wanting to attempt it. But we have, I don't know if you can see it, but we have a pizza crust on the bottom. Sort of like a cracker crust almost. And then we have a layer of what seems like mashed potato flakes. And then we have cheese. And then bacon on top of that, but it just doesn't work. I think it could. For me, this just doesn't. I'm feeling in my peckish though, so I guess I'll slug down another piece. I'm gonna throw a little more sauce on it this time. Man, this is an absolute jewel. This is going to have to be. This will have to be in my Q1 2026 wing thing for sure. But all that stuff that said to try on, do it. You might as well. It's like I said, if you make a sauce that tastes good enough, you can put it on anything. You automatically get really high flexibility. Even though this one is very vinegar forward. And I don't really like vinegar forward sauces on like burgers and junk. Even though, you know, like Louisiana style is probably my most favorite type of hot sauce. I would try this on burgers. It works better on other pizzas, I think. It helps that the pizza's not completely crap. It's funny. I get excited about stupid food stuff. And except for Pringles. Other stupid food stuff I still get excited about. And I've been disappointed almost every time. You'd think by now I would have learned not to put my face on the red burner. You'd think. If you thought that, you'd be wrong. So this is another on the pile. Another idiotic food product, and I couldn't resist trying it. I should have just got the loaded potato skins. Those would have been definitely better. These, I think this sort of points out the problem too with powdered potatoes, that you just don't really get, I don't think, a very quality potato flavor to it like you do with the potato and the skin. And it's not horrible to the point that I won't eat it, but it is not very good. That is not a good product in my view. This, however, is phenomenal. And so when I first opened this, it was one of those sauces that just made me say, ooh. Like hell yes. The very first taste I had of that. And it's kind of funny, sometimes sauces will take a little bit to grow on me, but most of the ones that are in the sauce of the year, most of those, particularly the winners, were almost immediate. I opened it up and I was like, yep, absolutely. And this one is setting the bar really high for 2026, which I'm always happy to see because I get to enjoy great sauces, and that's what the whole thing is. This is definitely a great one. Completely fantastic. Again, it might be a little bit over a 1 in terms of heat, but not much. It is very, very accessible in terms of heat. Flavor is phenomenal. This is one of the better flavored sauces for sure. In on the blog or even in the reviews. Definitely, I don't know if it's going to win 2026. It's still very early in the year, of course, but it's going to be hard, I think, to run past this one for sure. And I should note as well that the sauce of the year is based on the blog. It's not based on the FOH series. And the reason for that is because the blog was always the main thing. And the videos came a lot later in the lifespan of the blog. And YouTube is going through some stuff right now. It is, I think in a lot of respects, worse than it has ever been. But whether or not I continue doing these types of videos, I mean, I have a lot of fun with them. I love doing them. I want to keep doing them, of course. But whether I do or not, like the blog is not, very unlikely it's going to go anywhere. But YouTube is getting really, really screwy. So that is something that is not in my hands, and I think is a lot more fragile than is the blog. So, but all that aside, tremendous sauce, and this is actually one of the better priced ones out there. So particularly if you really care about flavor, this is definitely one you should get your hands on. No question about it. And we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Scarlet Fire hot sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.